I'm Cyrus Todiwala at Café Spice Namasté in my demo class kitchen. And today we are going to make a thing that is very grossly mispronounced in Britain. And it's an onion bhajia. Okay, nationwide in Britain it's called a bhaji. But bhaji means cooked vegetables or spinach. Bhaji is not a fritter. A bhajia or a pakora is a fritter. Okay? So my spelling here, if you see on the masala, B-H-A-J-I-A. But we are now saying B-H-A-J-I-Y-A to make it even easier. But you can learn. Most of the British public will still say bhaji. Okay? But this is the real one. So it's onion mostly. But I'm going to chop up some green chili. So I've got 3 or 4 green chilies here. Small ones. Now, you can chop them up fine or you can chop them up thick. By chopping fine, you are going to add more capsaicin into the product. And capsaicin, by that I mean the oil that comes out of chilies. Okay? And that is what is the lethal stuff in the chili. So it's capsaicin. Okay? But the most important ingredient there, onion. And we got to slice them thin. Okay? So you can slice them thick if you like. But the thinner you slice them, the better the product you get afterwards. Okay? So, and ideally, if the onion is big and it's juicy and too much water in it, then you want to slice it, wash it in water, and dry it in a colander. Okay? And you must dry it nicely so that all the sugar and all the ammonia from the onion gets washed away. Otherwise, you get very dark bhajias very quickly, and they don't cook in the middle. So you will find when you go to many places to eat bhajia that is stodgy and it's gooey and it's sticky inside. Okay, so you will find that they are like tennis balls, which is not what Indians make. They are not big, and they are fritters, and they are any size that you pick up, any size. So I'll show you when we fry. They are meant for snacks. They are meant for tea mostly. Bhajia is very much a tea time snack. And of course now in India, if you have the monsoon season, every mother is making bhajias because they don't want their children to go out and play in all the dirty water. So they keep them in the house by feeding them bhajias. It's the best time of the year actually. Okay, so here we go. We have enough for a demo. So when we make them in the restaurant, we normally slice a whole big colander full like that. Okay, so sliced onion. Remember, when you scrape on a chopping board, use the back of your knife, not the blade of your knife. You keep damaging it. Then you keep sharpening it, and you wonder why it goes blunt so quickly, because tat, and tat. You damage the blade. Okay. Now, curry leaves are not necessary. Okay? They are not necessary, but they are added in some parts of India. If you are in South India, they love their curry leaves. Every house has got one growing, or 2 or 3 or 4, and they will use curry leaves very freely. If you go in the north of India, curry leaves may be growing, but the woman of the house may not know how to use them. Okay? So this is typical of India. Some parts of the country, other things are cooked. In other parts of the country, the people don't know what to do with the stuff because the cuisine is completely different. Okay, we have 28 cuisines in India. And within those 28, there are sub-cuisines. So if I was 10,000 years old, I might learn a little bit about Indian food. Not much, little bit. Okay, I'm going to put some chopped coriander inside. Now you can put spinach in there. You can put grated carrots in there. You can put potato in there. You can put beetroot in there. On our menu, we have a spinach, kale, beetroot, and onion bhajia on our menu. And that goes very well. The color is great because the beetroot makes it nice and pink. Again, essential ingredient in Indian cooking, ginger garlic paste. So you want to make that, it's very simple. It's half ginger, half garlic. You wash your ginger, you don't have to peel it, in the blender with oil and water. By putting oil, we prevent it from oxidizing. Okay, otherwise it goes black very quickly. Both garlic and ginger oxidize very quickly. With the addition of oil, it prevents it from getting oxidized. Okay. Now, coming to the masala. Now, when we spoke of masala, this is also a masala. So it's a combination of dry ingredients. That's a masala. So in this masala is peppercorn, coriander seeds, cumin seeds, carom seeds. And carom seeds you'll have to research. I can show you some what they are. So that's carom seeds. They're very small. They're part of the thyme family. So sometimes they were known as thymol as well. They're part of the thyme family, but very strong. It's an astringent, and it's also an anti-flatulent, okay? And so that's in there, and chili. And so we make a combination. I wish the camera could smell, but you can't. So you put some inside like that, okay? Salt. And last is chickpea flour. I have no idea why it's called gram flour, but it is chickpea flour. In French, they call it farine de pois chiche, is chickpea flour. Okay, but they are slightly different chickpeas. These are very small chickpeas, more yellow in color than white. And the chickpeas are washed, roasted, skinned, and then powdered, dried and powdered, okay? So then the next thing that is left is to mix it in with the onions. So you mix the flour into the onions. If the onions are big, they will give off a lot of water. In this case, we are going to add some water. So you add water little at a time. The idea is to bind it, not to make a batter, okay? So we just bind it down. Now this is basic Indian cooking. So this is what everybody learns from childhood. Perhaps if the boys want to learn, the mothers will teach them all the way from childhood. And every mother will have her own combination. You can have your own combination. You can still call it a bhajia, so long as it is a fritter and it's nice and it's small. So what I'm going to do, just clean my hands down. And I'm going to show you what we do next. So our oil has been heating up here. Not very, very hot. Hot enough. There is a technique of testing hot oil with a wooden spoon. I don't know if you know that. But sometimes it's nice to test. When I write my books, this is what the editor came up with. So I learned at a very old stage in life. So you put a spoon inside. See the foaming around the spoon? That means my oil is right. If the foaming is very vigorous, then the oil is too hot. Okay? So I can turn it down a little bit if I need to. Now, a bhajia size. Now that's the size of your bhajia. So you pick with your fingertips like that, and you just slide it into the oil like that. So you use your forefinger and your thumb and you slide it in. It is supposed to be nice and crisp. Don't overload the oil, so I'm going to stop after this one. Okay. You just break it up a little bit. Okay, like so. So there are two ways to do it now. You can take them off at this color and refry them. But if there are children standing around the pot, mom's got no chance of refrying them. They're going to be consumed straight away. So we'll take them straight out. So the idea is that you want them nice, you want them crisp, you want them crunchy, and you want them tasty. By making them like tennis balls, all you get is a penetration of oil, stodgy, sticky, gooey. They're not supposed to be gooey. They're supposed to just eat beautifully. See the way these are turning out. They look so attractive. You already want to eat them. So I'll just give them another half a minute and they should be ready. Is that quick? Is that quick? Okay. People tend to want to shape them. Not necessary, but to impress somebody, you may want to shape it. If you shape it, be very careful. You don't cook it in very hot oil, because if you cook it in very hot oil, the color on the outside very quickly, the inside remains raw, and that's the problem. So I'm going to take this lot out. Okay, and we are going to put a few more in. So you're going to put a few more in, like so. So you don't have to dirty your whole hand now. Just pick it up like that and push it in. Don't be afraid of the oil. By throwing it in, go close to the oil and just slide it in, okay? Not that close that you burn your fingers, but don't be afraid of oil. The more afraid you are, the more accidents you cause. At the same time, you've got to be careful. I'm not saying burn your fingers, but go close. Some people throw it in from a distance, and that is dangerous. I'll take a few out. Okay. Look at that. Even my mother would be proud of me, I think. So next time you go to an Indian restaurant, don't ask for bhaji. Please ask for bhajia and confuse them, because many of them will get confused themselves. Unless you walk into an Indian restaurant owned by Indians, then it will be called bhajia. Thank you.